Hey, it's Justin Moore from Trending Family, and here are this week's top 5 trending news that are influencing families. So the New York Times had a great article about how there's a lot of brands trying to convince new generations that their products aren't just for their parents. A few months back, Planters posted on social media that there was a canister of cheese balls for sale on eBay. There was a ton of enthusiasm for this, ended up selling for something like $2,000. And Eduardo Luz, who is president of the US grocery business at Kraft Heinz, said that they saw almost 1.5 billion impressions from this. And then it's a marketer's dream. They ended up bringing back cheese balls for a limited time because there was just so much excitement over it, right? Same story for Sunny D. They used to be called Sunny Delight. They launched a campaign last month. They've got a new logo and new packaging. And Jim Gerbo, who is the VP of marketing at Sunny Delight Beverages, said that they see in today's youth that people are really about individualism and seeing kind of the unique talents of their peers, right? And so they auditioned something like 100 teenagers with these unique talents, and they launched these really flashy kind of video ads on social media. It's really interesting because there's more competition than ever before, and really maintaining relevance for these younger generations, may mean survival for some brands. So Adweek had a great article about a campaign that HP recently launched looking at what does an all-American family actually look like. HP commissioned a study of about 2,000 people, and they found that 74% actually believe that the typical household in this country fit that, white picket fence stereotype, white, heterosexual. However, according to the 2010 US Census, only about 1 in 4 American families actually matches that description. So what HP did is they brought together 13 Chicago area families of different races and ethnicities, ages, genders, sexual orientations, and they separated them, right? And then they brought in some participants and said, okay, match up the families, right? And so you can imagine, adopted kids were placed with the wrong families, and husbands, basically every man was placed with a woman. There was no same-sex couples. It was a really, really worthwhile video, so I highly recommend it. But when they actually brought the real families together, you can imagine how powerful that was, right? And this being an HP campaign, they took family portraits and they printed them out on HP printers and hung them up on this really nice wall. But Carlos Ricardo, who is the head of print marketing for HP, said that this social experiment really kind of spotlighted the changing nature of family in this country, right? And I think that what's so important for other brands who are marketing to families, right, is really paying attention to these statistics, right? And making sure that the families that are in your marketing assets are representative of what we're seeing in this country. So the LA Times had a great article recently about how Sun-Maid Raisins, they're a century old, they're a co-op, is looking to revitalize their brand. They brought in a new CEO named Harry Overly. He's a marketing phenom, he's had a ton of CPG experience, and his goal is $100 million in growth over the next couple of years, which is a tall order, right? And he mentioned to stay tuned for new products and new advertising and just kind of an elevated presence in grocery stores. And he mentioned that during their research, a lot of consumers told them that raisins they're kind of like mustard, right? You're gonna eat them on a hot dog, but you're never gonna eat it alone, right? And that raisins are just not a top of mind snack for a lot of people. And so to help with some of these growth initiatives, he brought in Lana Simon, who he knew from his days at Treehouse Foods, into a new marketing role in insights and innovation. And Simon is gonna be managing the relaunch of their flavored sour raisin snacks, which is pretty interesting. They've got these watermelon flavor and strawberry flavor, but these types of snacks, especially healthier snacks, are really a growing segment, and they appeal to millennials and they appeal to baby boomers, which is a key demographic for them. So if I could just have a conversation with Harry and Lana, probably what I would say is think about influencers, right? Especially video. A lot of the audiences of some of these video influencers are exactly the demographics that you're looking to target. So could be pretty powerful. So Bloomberg had the news that Facebook is launching Watch internationally, and they're expanding the financial incentives that encourage people to share their content there. This is really significant for all the video influencers out there, especially those who are sharing their content on YouTube. YouTube is the only platform to date that has allowed, advertising revenue share. So, an ad rolls before your video or in the middle, then you get a cut of that, right? And so the same is now going to be true on Facebook, I mean, there's been a lot of brand safety issues over the last 12 to 18 months for YouTube in particular, right? And they've had to revise their Google Preferred program and implement tools that allow advertisers to opt out from certain content. And Facebook has said right out the gate with this announcement that there are going to be similar tools for advertisers. So, honestly, expect to see a lot of content creators rush to Facebook now, I think, now that this revenue share is available. But it will be interesting to see because, just anecdotally in my conversations with other influencers, most have experienced a pretty incredible drop in their organic reach on their Facebook pages. This affected publishers too, not just influencers, but it'll be interesting to see whether now those influencers are going to give Facebook another shot. And Business Insider talked about how FAO Schwartz is opening a store in Rockefeller Plaza in time for holiday shopping this year. So, the brand was known for their very famous flagship store on Fifth Avenue, and that closed in 2015. But the new store is being developed by 360 Group, who purchased the brand from Toys R Us in 2016, and that this store is going to be experiential. It's going to feature, product demonstrations with employees and magicians and, employees dressed up as characters. If you've heard of things like the Museum of Ice Cream and Candytopia, I actually went to Candytopia with my family this last weekend, but these very kind of Instagrammable experiences that are targeted towards millennials and Gen Z, they've been very successful. So, reimagining these older brands with this new angle could be very interesting. So we'll see what happens this holiday season.